Now, also, you've got to ensure any shortfalls are reported to management. If you identify any breaches of fire safety that you consider necessary, report it to management. Fire doors being wedged open, extinguishers with pins missing, things not pat tested. Anything that's got an issue on fire safety in your workplace, please report it to the management. Now, relevant legislation for your industry. Well, you come under the Fire Safety Order, the Regulatory Reform Fire Safety Order 2005. And this basically applies to all premises. And the order covers general fire precautions and other fire safety duties which are needed to protect relevant persons in case of fire in and around most premises. Now, this order requires fire precautions to be put in place where necessary and to the extent that is reasonable and practical in the circumstances of the case. In other words, you do a fire risk assessment and all the precautions are based on that. And that's what you'll have in your workplace. Now, a key thing in a lot of your workplaces is, do people book in and book out your premises when they visit? Do they book in and book out? People forget, don't they? What can you do to help them? Signs like this. Put a sign like this. Did you remember to log in today? Give them a visitor's book with a pen on a chain. If you don't give them a pen, what will they do? They won't book in. Put it on a chain. If not, they'll pinch it. Yeah, so book them in. And key, this again, all staff, do you remember to log out? And the same with visitors. Get them to log in, get them to log out. Because a lot of people forget to log out. If you forget to log out and you're driving down the road and you suddenly remember, are you going to go back? No. Therefore, the logbook thinks you're still in the building. Remember logging in and logging out. Now, have you got enough fire extinguishers in your workplace? That's a key thing under the regulations. You've got to make sure you've got enough. Have you got enough? Well, I'll tell you now, you will have enough. Yeah? But where will they be? Do you know where your fire extinguishers are? Go around your workplace and find out where they are. Isn't it better now? And don't use them like this as door wedges. Yeah? They're not door wedges. 9-litre door wedges. Don't use them like that. Find out where they are. Should you use them as coat hangers? No. Don't use them as coat hangers. Don't use them as thing. Now, what happens if you get vandalism on fire extinguishers? Because some areas have problems where people keep pulling out the pins. It might be the staff, it might be the residents, but they pull them out. Well, you can do things like this. You can put out these boxes. And inside here is the fire extinguisher, so it's not going to get tampered with. Yeah, to stop people tampering with it. I went to one company, there's no fire extinguishers anywhere. I said to the manager, where's the fire extinguishers? He said, I've had to lock them all away in my office. I said, why? He says, people keep tampering with them. In his office, he had 16 extinguishers. I said, I'll tell you what, if there's a fire in there, you're all right. Fire anywhere else, you're in trouble. You can't do that. If people are tampering with them, you can't lock them away where you can't get access to them, but you can use boxes like this. So try and find out where your fire extinguishers are. Have you got an adequate fire alarm? Is it loud enough in all areas? Is it loud enough in all areas? This is a problem. Sometimes people have toilets where the fire alarm can't go off. Yeah, make sure when you test the alarm, put people in toilets, make sure you can hear it in their workplace, because they've had cases where people have stayed in the toilet when the fire alarm was going off because you couldn't hear it. Now, if you had to raise the alarm, where would you go to? Where are your break glasses in your workplace? This is your responsibility to look round your workplace and look for the red box. Yeah, the red box, break glass, where will you find them? You'll find them by every exit. Every exit in your building is going to get them. That's where you're going to find them. Why do they put them near exits? Because the last thing you should do before leaving a burning building is raise the alarm. That's why. Do you test your fire alarms in your building? It's good practice to test the alarms at possibly the same time every week. So sometimes people do it on a Tuesday at 10 o'clock. However, when you're testing it, make sure you're not testing it for too long. You shouldn't test it for more than about 10 seconds. Because if you leave it going and going and going and going and going, people just think, oh, that's a test today. So that's why you tell people when you're testing them, and you don't leave it running too long. I went to one care home, they were testing, they said on Tuesdays we test the alarm. They've got loads of alarms to test. Tuesday's testing day. Do you know what the staff were doing when the fire went off on a Tuesday? Oh, it's a test. All day Tuesday test. What if there's a real fire? You can't do that. You've got to make sure that that is a test. You can't just say all Tuesday we're testing the alarms. Make sure you tell people when you're testing the alarms. Another problem in the care industry is people setting off maliciously break glasses. Yeah, the residents set them off because they know all the doors get engaged and they can get out. They have real problems with this. What can you do? Something like this. You can have these boxes here where you have to lift it up to gain access to it, and it could be an alarm as well to stop people doing it. So there are ways and means of sorting out these problems. That's what you can do if people keep maliciously setting it off. Now, have you got adequate means of escape in your workplace? You should familiarise yourself with all your exits in your building. Not just the front exit. People like to go out the way they came in, that's where they're going to go. You should familiarise yourself with all the exits in your building. So, if you were trapped by fire, you'd know where to go. So go around your workplace and find out where they are. Find out where they are. Maintenance is a big issue in the workplace as well. Do you maintain everything? Do you test your emergency lights every month? Do you test your fire alarm every week? Do you do a daily check of your fire panel? Every home should make sure they do a daily check of your fire panel. Every day, somebody should check. What would you check the panel for? Green light. Make sure there's power on it. Make sure there's no orange lights and no red lights. In other words, no faults or fires, and that should be done every day. Maintain them. Emergency lights like this, how do you test them? They're generally a little rocker switch like this, and all you do is you put a test and you lift it up and down. That is the management's responsibility that may pass on to you. But somebody should test the alarms, test the emergency lights every month. Now, have you got adequate signage like this in the workplace? All buildings must have adequate signage. Look around your workplace now and say, is it clear what all the exits are? What should all exits have? They should all have the, what do they call it? The running man. We've called it the running man for years, you know. We're not allowed to call it that now in the fire brigade. We got a memo around saying you're not allowed to call it a running man. We said, why is it? It looks like a man. No, it doesn't. All right, we'll call it a running person. No, that sign is officially supposed to be called now a perambulating person. That is a perambulating person sign. What's perambulating mean? Walking fast. Perambulating person. Make sure your signs are visible in your own workplace. Now, the next area I'm going to look at is general fire precautions. Fire precautions in the workplace. These are the sort of things that you should be aware of in your workplace. Good housekeeping, not blocking exits. Does that look all right there? You're not supposed to do things like that. Now, for all care homes, good housekeeping will lower the chance of a fire starting, so the accumulation of combustible materials in your premises should be monitored carefully. Don't store things under stairs in the corridors. Good housekeeping is essential. Most disasters start because of poor housekeeping. So good housekeeping is essential to reduce the chances of escape routes and fire doors being blocked or obstructed. Again, does that look all right? There, the chair in the front of the door. No, but that's what you find in a lot of homes that do that. Make sure your means of escape are always clear. Keep waste material in suitable containers before it's removed from the premises, not in plastic bags just left in the corridor. If it's bins, particularly wheelie bins, are outside, secure them in a compound to prevent them being moved to a position next to the building. Some people get the wheelie bins full of rubbish, push them next to the building and set fire to them for fun. So lock them in a compound, secure them so people can't do that. What else can you do? If you generate a considerable quantity of combustible material, then you may need to develop a formal plan to manage it effectively. Now, is this your workplace? Does it look like that, your workplace? If it is, sort it out. What about that one? Sort it. Does that look all right? Hiding an extinguisher behind the plant. If it don't look nice, should you do that? No, make sure all your extinguishers, you can see them all, they're all visible.